If you have been paying attention to Maurice's recent hints, you already know that the scripts crossing his desk right now are nothing short of legendary. But the rumors leaking out of the studio suggest a summer storyline so massive, so dangerous, that it could permanently alter the landscape of Port Charles forever. We are talking about a catastrophic kidnapping plot that targets the people closest to the mob boss, a desperate alliance that defies all logic, and a rescue mission that will push our favorite characters to their absolute breaking points. The stakes have never been this high, and if these script leaks hold any truth, the body count is about to rise. Are you ready for the ultimate showdown? Because the storm is already here, and not everyone is going to survive the fallout. If you ask me, Maurice is not just blowing smoke when he talks about these upcoming scenes. He has been in this television business for decades, and when he gets this excited, you know the writers are cooking up an absolute masterpiece for us. The sheer enthusiasm he has shown recently points directly to a massive, blockbuster level event for the summer. We are not just talking about a simple shootout in a dark warehouse. We are looking at a sprawling, multi-layered tactical war. The core of this impending explosion? The highly anticipated return of Jason and Anna to the absolute forefront of the action. These two have been dealing with their own separate nightmares, Jason taking the fall for Rocco, and Anna biding her time in a French medical facility, but the dominoes are aligning to bring them crashing back into Sonny's world. When you take a step back and look at the board, the pieces are moving into a formation that screams absolute danger. Let us talk about the first domino that is poised to fall. And ladies, it is a devastating one. The theory circulating right now is that Rick and Justine are about to find themselves in the crosshairs of a terrifying abduction. Why them? Think about it. Rick is intricately tied to Sonny, sharing a complicated, often toxic brotherhood that always pulls them back together no matter how much they fight. Justine, as the fierce prosecutor, has been making waves and stepping on the wrong toes, especially after her heated arguments with Dante regarding the police department. If you want to cripple the legal and emotional infrastructure of the city in one swift move, you take out the lawyer and the prosecutor. Imagine this scene: a dark parking garage, a sudden ambush, and before anyone can even scream, Rick and Justine are gone, swallowed by the shadows. This is not a random crime of opportunity. This is a calculated strike designed to send a very specific message. This brings us to the mastermind behind the curtain. We all know Jens has been running loose, setting traps, and terrorizing Willow in her own home. But Jens is not working alone. He has formed a terrifying partnership with Ross, the dirtiest double agent the agency has ever seen. Ross is currently nursing a gunshot wound courtesy of Rocco, and he is desperate, dangerous, and holding the keys to that cold fusion prototype. If you ask me, Ross and Jens share a deeply rooted hidden agenda. They do not just want to escape the island, they want to completely dismantle Sonny's empire on their way out. Kidnapping Rick and Justine gives them the ultimate leverage. They know Sonny will not sit back and let his brother be tortured or killed. By taking hostages, Jens and Ross are baiting the ultimate trap, forcing the mob boss to step out of his fortified penthouse and directly into the line of fire. Once Sonny receives that inevitable ransom demand or proof of life video, the real psychological torture begins. We have watched Sonny endure this vicious cycle for years, his enemies constantly weaponizing his loved ones against him to exploit his vulnerabilities. But this time feels entirely different. The sheer scale of this manipulative scheme requires a response that goes beyond his usual enforcers. Sonny cannot just send a few guards to kick down a door and expect a victory. He is dealing with a seasoned international mercenary in Jens and a highly trained corrupt agent in Ross. Sonny is going to quickly realize that he is outgunned and outmaneuvered in the espionage department. The realization will hit him like a ton of bricks. To save Rick and Justine, he needs a literal army, but more importantly, he needs the two deadliest weapons this town has ever produced. The next domino to fall is the extraction of Jason. Right now, Jason is sitting in a cold jail cell, stoically taking the blame for Rocco's reckless decision to pull the trigger on Ross. But if Rick is held captive, and Sonny is backed into a corner, Jason's loyalty will override everything else. I firmly believe we are going to see Sonny pull every corrupt string, call in every favor, and perhaps even orchestrate a daring legal loophole to get Jason out of custody immediately. Jason is not just a bodyguard, he is the tactical mind that Sonny relies on when the world is burning down around them. Imagine the raw intensity of that reunion, Jason trading his prison uniform for his signature black leather jacket, silently loading his weapons, fully prepared to walk into hell for his friend. Jason's release will send shockwaves through the police department, but Sonny will not care about the optics. He only cares about getting his brother back alive. But brute force is not enough when dealing with someone like Ross. They need intelligence, stealth, and someone who understands the twisted bureaucracy of the international spy agencies. Enter Anna. Currently, Anna is playing a dangerous game of cat and mouse with her doctors in a French medical facility, calmly knitting while secretly plotting her grand escape. When word reaches her that Ross, the man who has caused so much destruction and betrayed everything she stands for, is holding hostages and threatening the town she loves, nothing will keep her confined. The domino effect of Anna breaking out of that facility, utilizing her old spy contacts, and ghosting her way back home will be legendary. She knows exactly how Ross thinks, she knows his brutal tactics, and she is the only one who can bypass the high-tech security measures he will undoubtedly use to guard Rick and Justine. When Anna finally stands face to face with Sonny and Jason, we are going to witness the birth of a truly unholy alliance. Think about the rich history here, guys. The mob boss, the lethal enforcer, and the former police commissioner turned rogue spy. They have been at odds countless times over the decades, fighting on opposite sides of the law, but the threat to their legacy family structures will force them to bury the hatchet. This alliance is built on pure desperation and a mutual understanding that if they do not work together, Jens and Ross will burn everything to the ground. The planning scenes alone will be Emmy-worthy. I can already picture them gathered around a dimly lit table in Sonny's office, spreading out blueprints, tracing satellite imagery provided by Anna, and mapping out the deadliest rescue mission we have seen in 30 years. Let us dive deeper into the psychology of this impending rescue operation. Jason will be the spearhead, the Phantom moving through the shadows, taking out guards with chilling precision and zero hesitation. Anna will be the infiltrator, hacking into security grids, disabling alarms, and outsmarting Ross's surveillance cameras at every single turn. Sonny will be the commanding presence, the loud distraction, and the furious force of nature ready to look Jens in the eye and make him pay for every second of fear he caused. The synergy between these three will be electric, a perfect storm of violence and strategy. But a mission of this magnitude never goes exactly according to plan. What happens when they finally breach the compound where Rick and Justine are being held? The dominoes will start falling in unpredictable directions, creating a chaotic environment where one wrong step could trigger an explosive trap left behind by the cunning Jens. If you ask me, the writers are setting us up for a massive twist regarding the hostages themselves. What if Rick is not just a passive victim in all of this nightmare? We know Rick has a dark, complicated history and a mind that is always spinning. What if, in his desperate bid to survive, he tries to out-manipulate Jens and accidentally compromises the entire rescue mission? Or what if Justine, driven by her rigid sense of justice and the law, refuses to cooperate with known criminals like Sonny and Jason, even when they are actively trying to save her life? The internal conflict between the rescuers and the rescued could add a layer of intense psychological drama to the physical danger. Anna will have to use every ounce of her diplomatic skills to keep Justine calm, while Jason physically drags a stubborn Rick through a hail of bullets. The tension will be absolutely suffocating for all of us watching at home. And then there is the inevitable bloody showdown with the villains. Jens has been an absolute menace, attacking innocent people like Ezra and terrorizing Willow without a second thought. His arrogance is his greatest weakness. He truly believes he can outsmart Sonny, but he has never faced the combined, unified wrath of Sonny, Jason, and Anna. The moment Jens realizes that his fortified bunker has been breached, the panic will finally set in. I envision a brutal, hand-to-hand confrontation between Sonny and Jens, a deeply personal fight where Sonny unleashes years of pent-up rage and frustration, but Jens is slippery and always has a backup plan. Will he have a dead man switch? Will he threaten to detonate the entire building if Sonny does not drop his weapon and let him walk away? The standoff will have us screaming at our television screens, gripping our armrests as we wait to see who pulls the trigger first. Meanwhile, Anna's primary target will undoubtedly be Ross. This is a deeply personal vendetta for her, a stain on her professional soul. Ross represents everything corrupt, greedy, and rotten within the agency she dedicated her entire life to building. When Anna finally corners Ross, it will not just be a fight for survival. It will be a battle for the very soul of the intelligence community. Ross might try to use the cold fusion prototype as a physical shield, threatening to release a catastrophic amount of energy if Anna dares to shoot. But Anna is a master of psychological warfare. I can see her slowly breaking down Ross's false confidence, exposing his deep-seated cowardice, and ultimately outsmarting him with a tactical brilliance that only she possesses. The moment Anna slaps the cuffs on Ross, or worse, the moment Jason is forced to take a lethal sniper shot to stop him from escaping, will be a defining moment of the entire summer viewing season. But let us look at the bigger picture and the dominoes that will continue to fall long after the smoke clears and the sirens fade. If this massive rescue mission is successful, the power dynamics in the city will shift dramatically and permanently. Sonny will have solidified his absolute dominance, proving to every rival that nobody can touch his family and live to tell the tale. However, the emotional toll on Rick and Justine will be incredibly severe. Will Justine be able to return to her prestigious job as a prosecutor with a clear conscience, knowing she owes her very life and breath to the city's biggest mobster? Will Rick finally acknowledge his brother's fierce love, or will the trauma of the kidnapping push him further into resentment, jealousy, and darkness? The psychological scars left by Jens and Ross will haunt these characters for months, feeding into new storylines and fresh, bitter conflicts that will carry us right into the fall season. Furthermore, what happens to Jason and Anna once the dust settles on this chaotic battlefield? Jason's temporary release from jail might come with severe, unbreakable legal stipulations. Will he be forced to go right back into custody for covering up for Rocco, or will his undeniable heroism in saving the prosecutor earn him a quiet, under-the-table pardon? Anna's unauthorized, daring escape from France will undoubtedly draw the intense ire of the international authorities. By helping Sonny orchestrate this bloodbath, she might permanently burn her remaining bridges with the legitimate intelligence community, forcing her to operate entirely in the shadows moving forward. This single event, this massive summer rescue, could fundamentally redefine who these characters are at their core. The writers are peeling back the layers of these iconic figures, stripping away their comfort zones, and forcing them to confront the darkest parts of their own natures in order to survive. As we sit back and piece together these tantalizing clues, the anticipation is almost too much to bear. Maurice knows exactly what he is doing by teasing us with these script hints during his interviews. He is preparing us for a cinematic television experience that will honor the rich, 30-year history of the show while pushing the boundaries of modern daytime storytelling. The collision course between Sonny, Jason, Anna, Jens, and Ross is absolutely inevitable at this point. The traps are set, the hidden agendas are in motion, and the legacy of these families hangs in the fragile balance. But in this world of endless secrets and devastating lies, nothing is ever as straightforward as it seems. If Sonny, Jason, and Anna do manage to pull off the impossible and rescue Rick and Justine from the brink of death, what unimaginable price will they have to pay for their victory? And who will be the next innocent soul to fall victim to the fallout?